Super thanks shout outs go to at Michael Van Kurt 3576, support each and every video. I definitely appreciate the super thanks and all the videos. Then we have at Jeremy Stewart 1785, supporting many videos as well. Now on to today's video. All right, welcome back. Pouring rain, and we are out here going to rip the 4S Outcast. I didn't have a lot of runtime with it yesterday because I let the kids beat on this thing yesterday. It's pretty cool to watch some kids that are new into the hobby, well, not even into the hobby, I think they're going to be hobbyists now, rip this RC car. But we got it muddy yesterday, so rather than just clean it, I figure I'll rip it around and show what a center diff can do. I know I had some people ask me, a couple of people ask about a center diff, clean enough. But I did have some people ask me what the difference was between the center diff and the slipper clutch, and could it benefit them? It all depends on what you're doing with it. A center diff, you can go almost, with thin fluid, you can go almost full trigger and get on to full trigger a lot faster than you can with a slipper clutch. Now, you can loosen up a slipper clutch to kind of act the same way, but when a slipper clutch bites, it's a lot quicker than when fluid locks up. It seems like a slipper clutch is not as consistent as a center diff, because the fluid is basically going to break down to a certain viscosity and then stay there, where a slipper clutch, as it heats up, it's going to act different than if it were cold. When it heats up, the metals are going to expand, the pads are going to get, hot, and it's going to bite different than when the RC was cool or the clutch was cool. Basically more consistent, and depending on the fluid, you can still do wheelies. It's just more consistent on the trigger pull, on when the power is going to be added to the wheels that are slipping, in this case the front wheels. Once you get up into a wheel stand with a slipper clutch, it seems to hold it, a wheelie, way easier. So I would say it's more a preference. And for me, a slipper clutch is more of a center differential is more of a track use, and a slipper clutch is more of a basher use. Now, we've been bashing with center differentials on the bigger RCs just because the tunability is a lot easier, I think, with a center differential. But when I'm bashing, I pretty much, have that slipper clutch almost locked out anyway, just because I want all the power equally to the four tires, where this is constantly adjusting where the power is going. See, watch, I'll get up into a wheel stand and I'll hold the trigger and it'll set down on its own, because what's happening is the front wheels are spinning so fast, the slipper clutch is slipping, and then it'll equal out to try to hold that wheel stand and then just set itself down. Let's try this again. See, I'm just holding the trigger and then it sets down. Where with the slipper clutch, it'll hold that wheelie pretty much consistent. See, it sets down on its own. It's a way different feel. See, it sets down on its own, and I was just holding the trigger at 3/4. And even adding more trigger, it just eventually catches up to itself. You can see those front tires ballooning like crazy, trying to keep the RC on the ground. It's really way more controllable with a slipper clutch, or I mean with a center diff. Slipper clutch, I'm getting confused now. But for me, the RC is just, and that's why I keep saying, you know, center differential is just more stable. It's just easier to control. It doesn't want to flip over backwards so easy. I'm probably going to change this steering servo because I don't have the rapid turning that I really want with this RC. It's not even a push. The steering is just slow. So on a trick truck, you really want that steering to react and not slowly move like that. I think it could benefit from, see, I'm all the way right and it doesn't want to turn, you know. See, right is terrible. Left is much better. And I just think that that's the steering servo. I can't up the voltage to it, but I feel it'll just burn this servo out is usually what happens. They end up failing quicker because we add too much power to it to get it to respond. See, right turn, left turn is okay. Right turn is just not as good. That's way better than this way. Look at the big circle compared to going this way. Nice tight circle. So to the right is very lazy with this RC. So I don't feel like I have the control that I would like to have. Should be able to tap the brakes and turn it. But tap the brakes, it still won't turn to the right. And I think that's where I truly like the new Big Rock over the turning of this style RC on like a smooth basketball court like this. This is more of just a raw basher, jumper, basher. We're gonna walk into this rain. Hopefully the lens doesn't get too wet and we can get some footage of jumping down the stairs. Nobody's here today. You got to be careful with water in the tires. Playing in the rain. Playing in the rain's always been fun for me. especially on these loose surfaces. That's where a center diff on loose surfaces, which is dirt, really, and smooth stuff like this, really performs well. Is it worth the $100 upgrade? I mean, it's hard to say. $100 is definitely easier and easier on the wallet than paying another $450 for another RC. But like I've said, you know, I didn't mind. Let me wipe the lens. For me, I truly didn't mind the slipper clutch with the 4S line. That's why I wasn't in too big of a hurry to get this or run this, because with my slashes, I tried center diff, tried locking it up, tried a slipper clutch. Yeah, it just does not turn to the left. So I think with this, a servo upgrade is going to be my first thing, because I really want control. And if you want more control, get a longer chassis. A longer chassis will give you more control. Like the Creighton. Because it's really going to keep weight on those front wheels versus the Outcast. I just like tricks. I just like to be able to do stunts and tricks with the Outcast. That's why the Outcast is one of my favorite RCs, whether it's a 4S, 6S, or 8S. But there we go. All cleaned up. All that mud is off of it now. Definitely a fun truck. They get bent when you crash, and then they're harder to get off. But I had a bunch of batteries charged up, and the new design of keeping water and dirt out really seems to be working on this RC. The ESC is pretty much dry, the battery's dry. Everything in there from hitting those puddles is pretty much dry. This chassis change was definitely a good upgrade for the 4S Outcast. But there we go. Let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you on the next video. Don't let the rain stop you. Get out there, run some RC.